Welcome back. And here is Samson's take. Leadership. That is Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum. This country has never lacked genuine and committed politicians. They have been in short supply, yes. But in our recent history, perfect gentlemen like Kojo Baredu gave us reason to trust some political leaders. Dr. Charles Rekubrobe's Ghana Institute of Public Policy Options, GIPO, has kept the memory of the former finance minister with the annual Baredu Memorial Lectures. On Thursday, another great citizen, flying high the flag home and abroad, Bright Simmons, was a speaker at this year's lecture, where he revealed to the shock of many that about 80% of funds for public procurement does not go through the central accounting or gift mix system established as a means to check corruption largely perpetrated through procurement. He encouraged citizens to try to emulate the courage of Martin A.B.K. Amidu, a man of unquestioned integrity and another great example who gave up his job, first as Attorney General, to fight as a private citizen to recover a dubious 51 million judgment debt to the state. On the second occasion, he sacrificed his office as special prosecutor to save us some $150 million income annually in the dubious and botched Ejapa gold royalties deal. There can be no doubt Dr. Yaw Osei Adutwum is in the league of rare political leaders who give us reason to be hopeful that what is broken can be fixed. The transformational, generational thinking education minister is not only pioneering the right change in education with STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but has, as MP, been sponsoring students to study engineering and medicine in the university. He's deliberate about this, and his goal is to produce at least 100 engineers in his Bosumtwe constituency in 10 years. It's only 2 years since he started this project, but he has already put over 90 students in science and technology universities on full scholarship. Yes, he may be confronting particularly capital-intensive issues on the education front, but a hands-on minister who has the experience of successfully running one of the best charter schools in America and is often seen in classrooms making the teaching of math and science enjoyable for students, made many Ghanaians proud this week with his moving speech at the United Nations Transforming Education Summit. Listen to him.
Full steam ahead in terms of ensuring that we can increase the numbers of our students participating in STEM and STEAM, and that is how we put to rest the issue of rote memorization. You can't do rote memorization in STEM. We have to really participate in the learning process and make sure that we can get the critical mass that with the critical minds that we need for our transformation. You see, I always say that from my experience in the US going back to Ghana, we have good children in Ghana, so respectful. But I go to schools upon schools and I speak with the students. And when I finish speaking with them, I'll say, do you have a question for me? No hand goes up. A hand is just to go up in all my encounters in Ghanaian classrooms. We have tamed the children. We just want them to write down what we tell them. At the day of exams, they should put down what we have told them. We say, you are the best student the country has ever known. That kind of education system will not transform Ghana. That kind of education system is not going to give us critical thinking individuals, especially since we are in the 21st century and Education 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution. You can't memorize your way out of poverty, but you can critically think and innovate out of poverty. So Ghanaian schools, Africans will have to begin to take a serious look at what I call the assertive curriculum. A curriculum that empowers the African child to ask questions and challenge the status quo respectfully within the African cultural context. But not a curriculum that tells the African child to be quiet and don't say anything when the adult is speaking. And tell the adult back, tell him back whatever he was told. That kind of education system, I don't care if we get to the point where every African child is in school. If you put all of them in school and do not change the way you teach them by empowering them to be assertive individuals, you will still not transform Africa through education.
We cannot deny the truth, this particular truth, that our education hardly produces innovation thinking because pupils and students are not encouraged to be critical and free to challenge the status quo. We can play the ostrich, but that training is the very reason the Ghanaian is generally not assertive. Our bane is the unpatriotic bootlicking generation and enablers of the unbridled corruption and the near default incompetence on display. A lot is required to get head teachers and others to exercise their Article 21 rights, to publicly tell parents and guardians what they deserve to know without fear of undeserved treatment. Even lawyers with special training to not act as timorous souls are failing in this duty. A concern many are excited to know is shared by judges like the Supreme Court's Justice Jones Doche. A few of their colleagues who brave the odds even in making constructive criticisms about the third arm of government, where they earn a living, are taken to the slaughter as though it was sacrilegious to publicly criticize mortal men. Those, I believe, are in the minority who have been giving the judiciary a bad name. Dr. Adutwum seems to face the ugly pull-him-down politics, even from within a section of his own political party. But observing from where I sit, much of it is the mud thrown at highly successful leaders that never stick because they are what they are, baseless allegations. Let's support good people to get a reproduction of multiples of good people and goodness in our society. And that is my take. We'll be right back to get to matters of the economy and the NDC's concerns with the Ghana card and the EC's CI that it is seeking to promulgate in Parliament.